who you are and how you live your life is essentially you. And so, although I'm sure most people feel that they're doing their best, unless you actually look at it, you don't know what it is that you're doing as your best. And for me, I really didn't know. I had no idea. I just knew I was very focused about wanting to work better with parents and children. But I didn't know why, except I'd identified some things I didn't like that were happening, which was, of course, the opposite of what I value, I suppose, but I didn't realise that at the time. So it was through the process I discovered that actually I have a really strong ethic of wanting equality, anti-elitism, that sort of stuff was really important to me. And I had no idea about, well, it wasn't a conscious thing I thought about.
Yeah.
So it was a starting point, probably. Yeah, and from that, that would have been one of the first things I recognised and came out. I realised that as a part of that, then we get like just respect for people, just because you're human, you're worth something. And I needed to think about that because it didn't come as, oh, this is what it is. I really had to work it out by noticing times when I remember once I was on a course, I can't remember what it was was a study day I think, and we were asked the question, do you think you deserve respect? And I immediately said, and people had to say their standpoint, and I was amongst the few who said no, to which people must have thought I was a really unconfident person. But the reason I said no was because of my children's rights background. When I was had been strongly rehearsing this idea that parents shouldn't just expect children to respect them because of their being an authority figure, which is all part of the equality thing, really. That respect is something that's due to you because you are worthy of respect. But through that day, of course, I was really questioned about that. And I realised that the questioners were right, that just the fact that you're a human being, there's it's a different kind of respect, probably, that you are worthy. And that is part of it. That is really, really important to me. Now I recognise it. Yes, of course. So that's very much on my list.
Yeah, because I was just curious because, again, this morning I was talking with this group in Baines about the quality of relationship, which seems really vital. So this has always struck me about what it is that you appear to value, literally, in your way of being. So there seemed to be a quality of relationship which you then started to describe as alongside-edness.
Yes, yeah.
I was just fascinated by this quality of relationship, which again feels to be part of your way of being. Now,
Yes, again, I think it came, although I began to identify and put words to it because of the research process, but I think I've sort of discovered that way of being because it works. So it's not like research leading the process. It's about my way of being. I could identify and refine and be clearer about and more confident about because I was researching. And the way that works for me with people, because I really mind about reducing power relationships was really important to me, is really important to me. When you do that, when you don't, as a health visitor, if I don't approach my work as a professional person who has a right to be there and stuff to give, then I have to approach it from a different point of view, which means I need to make a relationship whereby we can have a conversation. And so in order to have a conversation where it's not founded on a power relationship, then I need to connect. I mean, once again, I didn't know this till I looked at it closely. I need to actually connect with a person so that they want to be there and so that we can cooperate with each other through this process of having a conversation. If that makes sense?
It does, no, it does. And it's, I suppose my curiosity is to do with whether because you are a health visitor, and therefore spending quite a bit of your professional time with parents and their very young children or the babies, whether there is something in that quality of relationship with the parents that is connected to this idea of being with young people or the babies, which is also related to this idea of a lack of power relationship, of a hierarchical form. And that's what I'm really curious about, because it felt to me that when I saw some of those early video clips of you just sitting with the baby and the parents, that you're able to live in an inclusional way, so that the way of relating included